everyone, and welcome to another review from Colour with Claire. Today we're looking at the brand new Sakuems Natural Enchantment colouring book. Now this came out just at the end of 2018, so it's very new still on the market, and it is the follow-up to the previous colouring book from Sakuems in very much the same vein. This one here, the Fantasy Characters colouring book 2017. Now as you can see, both books look absolutely beautiful put together. I adore this whole watercolour pastel look that she has put on her covers. It is gorgeous. So both books are spiral bound, as you can see, and if you want to see my review of this book, you can find the video if you scroll back through my videos, you can find it, and also in the reviews playlist. So this one, it is exactly the same format as the previous one. It's spiral bound, it has a thick card cover with a nice matte sort of soft finish to it. On the back you can see some thumbnails of the artwork inside and a little bit of a blurb, and also written in French as well because Emily, the illustrator, is French. So we will open up onto the first illustration. So there's no kind of extraneous pages, it's just straight into the illustrations. And as you can see, the quality of the artwork again just doesn't disappoint. I fell in love with Sakuems' first book and I'm in love with this one as well. So lovely sort of fairy kind of illustration here. She's sat among all this nature, all the petals that are just floating around in the wind, and the butterflies and her hair, just gorgeous. Now, before we carry on with the book, this page is where I have to tell you something about the paper. So, I don't know if you caught my live stream that I did a couple of weeks ago, where I was going to colour a page from this book on a live stream, and it ended up being quite a torturous experience for me actually, because every single kind of medium that I used on this paper would not lay down correctly. It's mainly pencils that are the problem. Now the previous book, the Fantasy Characters 2017, this one, I found that was quite smooth as well, but it certainly was not anywhere near as smooth as the new one. And I'm just going to show you a couple of images that I completed from the first one, just to prove that you can use pencils beautifully on that first colouring book. So you can see there, absolutely stunning. There's nothing wrong with that pencil. It's laid down very well. And again, there was another one that I did just to show you how well the pencils laid down on this paper, and you can see all the smooth skin and the transitions are fine. On this book, the new one, I could not get the pencils to lay down correctly at all. It was leaving sort of weird speckly white marks underneath the pencil that was showing through. I tried all sorts of different things, as you can see, and none of the pencils that I tried would actually look fully saturated. So even if I was using the most vibrant, bold, vivid coloured pencils, the softest ones, Prismacolors, it still was looking very light, very desaturated. Now that is because this paper is incredibly smooth. It is probably some of the smoothest textured paper I've come across in colouring books. Now, as I said, the first book from Sakuems was smooth as well, but it wasn't anywhere near as smooth as this one. Now, I have spoken to Emily, and she did say that the people who publish her books and create her books for her and print them have changed the paper stock. So it wasn't just me. For the longest time on that live stream, I thought it was me doing something wrong, but they have actually changed the paper, and there's nothing that she could do about that. So if you are looking to use pencils on this new book, I would definitely advise that you buy the PDF version of this and print it on your own paper, because pencils just will not work on this at all. If you're using markers, if you love using your Copics or your water-based markers, anything like that, this is the one you need to get, because there's also a watercolour version of this book. So this one is the smooth cardstock, and you can also get the watercolour version. But even the watercolour version is not right for pencils, because it's a cold press, which means it's very rough, too rough for pencils. So it's kind of both ends of the spectrum. You've got this very, very smooth stock, and then you've got the very rough watercolour paper. So there is, you know, a solution for everybody. If you use pencils, I would download the PDF and buy that and use that and print it on your own paper. If you use markers, get this cardstock version. If you use watercolour or water-soluble mediums, get the watercolour version. So that there's a solution for everyone. Now, saying that about the paper, it is still a very, very quality cardstock. It's 300 GSM, so it's super, super thick. Listen. Super thick. There is nothing wrong with the quality or thickness of this paper at all. It just isn't right for pencils. So here we've got a landscape image, getting back into the illustrations now after that bit of a divert. Landscape image, and you can see her hair is sort of turning into what look like tree branches, gnarled tree branches, and I just adore this kind of fantasy art that Sakuems creates. It's very much centered in nature, but it also has a definite splash of magic in there as well. There's something enchanted about this, which is obviously why it's called Natural Enchantments. So this one's lovely. We've got like a dream catcher type of thing here. She's got her little Red Riding Hood sort of garb on there, and it looks to me like she's got some fluffy ears poking out as well. So definite hybrid there. This one's gorgeous, very much a close-up, loads of wavy hair for you to practice hair colouring, lights and shadows, and of course you've got the skin as well. This one is another landscape one. This one is centered on the page. There's not too much background detail, so that's a good one to start off with if you want something a bit simple. This is the one from the front cover, so it's the tree lady. You can see she's completely made out of sort of this tree trunk, but she has a beautiful human face, and she's got all gorgeous sort of flowers growing from her. You can imagine this all being very brightly coloured flowers. This one is very sweet. It looks like a little young girl. It looks to me like she has some sort of crystal ball or something in front of her, and she has the most beautiful wavy hair surrounded again by flowers. Another landscape one here. I love this, it's sort of like lacy, but it's flowers as well, sort of like lacy flower, very sheer, kind of dress that she's got on maybe. It looks sheer because you can see the curve of her bosom underneath, so it's obviously kind of see-through, and then behind her she has a kind of a mandala shaped thing going on with all the flowers in between. Here we've got another standalone girl in the centre of the page, and her dress is made up of this beautiful heart. This would be a great one to do for any Valentine's colour-alongs that are running at the moment. I love this one as well. They're all absolutely stunning. You cannot say a bad word against Sakuems illustrations. They are beautiful. So this one reminds me of a bridal setup. You can see she's got this veil here. We've got flowers. She's got little flowers in her hair. She's got the lace choker, and definitely a good bridal palette you could use on that one. This one's a little bit more wild. Her hair is going absolutely everywhere. Again, flowers all over the place, sort of floating around in the breeze. This one looks to be a fairy. She's got gorgeous translucent wings here, and she's sat upon this kind of long, could be a type of cherry blossom maybe. And she has gorgeous ballet lace-up slippers. Now then, after saying all that earlier about the pencil and what I went through on the live stream, I thought I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to do a pencil colouring, and I'm just going to stick with it whatever happens. Now, looking at this, you're probably going to say it looks fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but when you're actually colouring with the pencil, you can feel that it's not laying down properly, and there are instances where you can see it as well. Now, I don't know whether the camera is going to pick this up, but on this rose here, hopefully if it focuses, I don't know if you can see the darker parts of the rose are very, very grainy, very granular, and it just did not want to stick to this paper at all. And you can see sort of in the bits of the hair that are in shadow that I've tried to deepen up, it's very grainy, very sort of speckly as well. The skin took ages and ages to get looking smooth. I had to use some blending solution in the end, But it looks okay, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the actual motion, the action of colouring it was not fun because of that. So here we have another landscape. Again, we've got this beautiful necklace, beads that's going on, that's draping over her shoulders, gorgeous flowing hair, and it looks to be that she's stood in front of a waterfall. So this would be a really good one to do, maybe with your neo colours or water-soluble media or paints, and give that very watery looking background and some exotic bright flowers. Very simple design, this one, a good starting point if you don't want to do anything too detailed. Again, another waterfall type image. It looks as if this is kind of floating, this head, or she's just poking her head out through the waterfall because there's no body to this one. And this, again, we have this kind of dripping sort of motion going on here. You could probably make it quite watercolour like Sakuems did on the front of her books. This paper is so thick it's very difficult to turn because you don't know if you're missing pages or not. Here we go. So I think that this is the last one, and this is a beautiful girl with gorgeous big thick full blooms of roses all scattered in her hair, and the roses are dripping as well, just like the previous illustration. And I can just imagine maybe making these roses monochrome, black and white, but just the edges being multicoloured, and you can just see that the colour is dripping off of the roses, like draining out of the roses. I think that'd be an awesome kind of gothic page to do, especially as it's got the moon in the background and it's night time. So there we go, that is the whole book. I'm sorry if I bored you with the whole spiel about the paper, but I just want you to make sure you get the right kind of copy for your mediums that you're using. So it's 21 by 30 centimetres, there's 20 illustrations included, 300 GSM paper. Now the price at the moment is £18.27 in English money. Obviously you can convert that if you live further afield, and it will be sent out worldwide from Emily in France. And if you do want to get the PDF versions, which I would recommend if you're using papers, you can actually get this book and this one plus 5 extra images, so 45 images in total, for the same price as this one book on PDF. So £18, just over £18, you can get the PDF of both of these and 5 extra images as well. So if you were looking to get this one and you haven't got that one already and you are going to get PDF, why not just get that one? It's the same price. You can also buy each book on their own as PDFs for a little over £10. So it's totally up to you. There's so many options. You don't have to feel like you're restricted in any way. So I'll be leaving all the links in the description for you to go over to Emily's Etsy page and buy whichever version suits you best. Please let me know in the comments what you think of this book and any other comments that you want to chat to me about the book. If there's anything, any questions I can answer, I'm happy to do so. And please give the video a thumbs up. It helps my videos get seen and it just helps me no end just to click that thumbs up. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.